Welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. I really hope from the bottom of my heart that you're doing well. There's so much anxiety and depression and aggression out there going on right now. It's really, really tough times for all of us. And I hope you can take time aside and really take good care of yourself. Maybe every day, maybe a couple days a week, to come back to your peaceful state, maybe even joyous core. And remember how light and easy life can feel in those tough times. If you're driving right now, maybe you should listen to that episode because it's going to be a very relaxing one. If you are walking, that's fine, but don't be operating machinery or driving a car. Today I want to talk about a relationship advice that I was never given and that I was so grateful to receive or to learn to observe when it comes to dating and romantic relationships. We all talk about attractiveness, about the intellect. So intellectually, it has to be a match. Spiritually, it'd be good if you guys are a match. Physically, I mentioned already. And then sense of humor is very important too. But how about stress? I feel we all go through stressful situations at times. And it is very interesting to observe how different people react to stress. And once we find out how the person is reacting to stress, we know a lot more about them already, and we know how we can cope together, how we can function together in a stressful situation. So I didn't make it a huge build-up now. I come out with my number one relationship advice that I've never received right out the door. Because I feel it is so important to see how a person is relating to you when there is stress. There's people who completely shut down and don't want anything to do with anybody else. They want to focus on that problem and bite themselves through until they have resolved it. There's people who explode. So the first example, I would say they implode. The second example is they explode. They run around like a chicken with his head chopped off and panic and don't know what to do and need other people to rescue them. And in some situations we need help from the outside, but there's people out there who always search for a solution in the outside, and they never figure out for themselves if they could find a solution themselves. And then there's people who are awesome at communicating how they feel and at communicating what they need from you as their partner. And then you guys are in the same boat and you can support each other and be a very strong team. But to be that very strong team, you first have to know how that person is functioning. How do they function on a daily basis? Are they totally OCD? Do they have to have everything controlled? And does everything has to go their way? Otherwise they're unhappy or irritated with you or with themselves? Or are they pretty easygoing and they can allow a little bit of chaos? They have a good sense of humor. And you can kind of sense that if stress comes up, they are reliable partners. I find this so important to talk about, because most of the time when we start dating, we only focus on the exterior, on the appearance, on likes and dislikes, hobbies, food preferences, maybe music, and then sex, of course, is a very important topic too. And that is tricky. In the beginnings, we always show our best sides, and maybe on a day where you feel shitty about yourself, you would cancel and not meet up with your date, not meet up with your potential partner because you feel not good about yourself. Well, here is the news. They have to know how you behave in your not so good situations when you don't feel good, and vice versa. You have to know how they behave when they feel shitty about themselves or a certain situation. So, of course, it takes some time until you get to know a person on that level, but this is the time I beg you to absolutely take, because there's a lot of us out there who enter relationships because we don't like to be alone, because our biological clock is ticking, because of all sorts of reasons. And then we put these reasons, we make those reasons our very main important priority and enter the relationship. And the first crisis comes around and you think, holy shit, who's that person I'm dating? I didn't even know that person was capable of getting so angry or so depressed. And yeah, I'm trying to make you guys and girls more aware of things that we have to look at when we look at dating, to then enter relationships with more confidence and to be more at ease with ourselves and make better choices when it comes to our partners. So if you are in a partnership now, and if you see, oh my God, whenever we have a crisis, it's very crazy difficult for me to relate to my partner, then I would say talk about this and be open about this, because people can change and you have to believe that people can adapt. And when you're currently dating someone and you're totally lovey-dovey and excited and sex is awesome and he probably likes your parents or your parents like him or her, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But try to get to know that person on every level that there is before you fully commit. Committing is a wonderful thing. I'm all for it. But committing to the wrong person, committing for the wrong reasons, is a mistake that you will regret for a long, long time. And then another art in this is also not to dissect the relationship we're into, to overanalyze, but to live that relationship and to go from the heart and to feel, hey, is that something I can deal with when my partner explodes when there is a stressful situation? And vice versa for them. Can they handle your worst you? Are they okay the way you behave when you are stressed out? Sometimes we also have to look at ourselves and see that, yeah, when we were single, we were able to totally lash out and be mad and sad for as long as we wanted. But now you are in a relationship and you are responsible for your well-being, and you're responsible to bring goodness into the relationship and to not poison your relationship. So you have to deal with your stuff. You cannot use your partner to have every solution at hand, and you have to be independent in that way a little bit. I'm all for interdependency, and depending on each other to some degree. But when it comes to problematic situations, we have to show ownership. So I think that's the main message I want to send out here today. It's not about religion. It's not about attractiveness. It's not about spirituality or financial health. Those are very, very interesting topics to talk about. But the baggage that the people bring into a relationship should be analyzed a little bit, see what the person is bringing from the past into the present, and if that's something you can deal with. And it goes so deep that sexual preferences, for instance, are deeply rooted in your past, maybe sometimes in your childhood. So experiment, explore, see if that person is a good match for you, and be curious about your partner. Ask them what makes them sad, ask them what makes them really mad, and ask them questions about their childhood and hope that they're open to it, to talk about it, to understand them. Because understanding a person is loving a person. Because it is then that we can show empathy, and it is then that they can open up more and more, and we can see better and better if that person is good for us, if we are good for them. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to listen to this episode today. You're listening to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, and I really hope you're doing well. I really ask you to send me requests and to tell me what you would love me to talk about, because I want to serve you the best I can. I'm out here to lift you up, to shift your attitude, and to bring some goodness into this world. Take really good care of yourself, and I will be out there for you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.